Hello, my name is Bryan Lamkin. I'm a professor of history here at Azusa Pacific University, and I'm specifically an immigration historian, even though I do American history here. And I'm going to talk a little bit today about the idea of diversity and immigration and how they relate to one another. It strikes me, if we look at the history of this nation, that we have always been a nation of immigrants. Even Native Americans, if you subscribe to the land bridge theory, which says that people from present-day Asia area migrated across an ice bridge thousands of years before the Europeans arrived, even they are immigrants, so to speak. And we have, from the very beginning of Europeans arriving, we have been a nation of incredible diversity. So we might think, but it was the English that populated the United States. But if you look at from the 16th century on, the 1500s on, what do you have by the 16th and 17th century? You have English, you have Spanish, you have French, you have Dutch, you have a phenomenal number of different groups. And then by the 17th century, you begin having Africans and people from Latin American countries as well. So the diversity begins very early on. And Americans have always had this interesting tension about immigration and diversity. So by the time you get into the 1700s and especially the 1800s, there are those that start calling themselves nativists, Native Americans. If you're born in this country, you consider yourself a Native American. And those that are born here begin to have this suspicion of reaction to foreigners coming in. And so, for example, in the period before the Civil War, the 1820s, 30s, 40s, 50s, it's the largest percentage increase of immigration in American history. Phenomenal numbers of especially Irish and German immigrants. And if you pick somebody like the Irish immigrants, they are absolutely hated in the 1840s and the 1850s by those who consider themselves Native Americans. Because the Native Americans say things like, they're taking jobs from us. They're bringing in different customs. They're drinking too much. They're enjoying their whiskey far too much. And they're Catholic to a large degree. We're a Protestant nation. And so that diversity creates a tension. And the nativists say, we have a right to object to this, to somehow take action against them. And so they will write tracts or speak sermons or give speeches against the Irish and other immigrants. They'll pass legislation saying we're going to restrict the immigrants in particular ways. They'll even resort to violence. They'll attack Catholic communities, churches or convents, things like that. And so there are these waves of nativism. It's not something that's new to American history. We might think these tensions about immigration are brand new to the 21st century. Not so. It reflects much more values that are deeply embedded in, I would argue, our souls, our human makeup. But in this American character, it's much more problematic. So there are those tensions, but I would also argue that on the flip side, the fact that we've always been a nation of immigrants and the waves of immigration is in the late 19th, early 20th century, and another wave after 1965 with passage of laws, is what creates this incredible culture that we are. I dare you to find particular kinds of religious or social institutions and not see some kind of ethnic immigration background to that. So at times we struggle with it, but it's also what has always made us a fascinating nation and what continues to make us this incredible nation that we are.